Ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Germaine, just creating another video for you. But this time we're going to be walking through and taking a look at the format that our lessons are going to be taking this year in math class. Primarily, most of our lessons are going to be done in a Google Slides presentation, like I said. If we're looking back at our assignment page, we look at our topic and we have our assignments here. Remember we said we're going to have two. If I click on my assignment, view my assignment, it's going to take me to the assignment page. Here, if we look up at the top left, we have our title for the topic, title for the activity, who assigned it, me, what time. Underneath you have the number of points, but like I said, we're not going to be looking too closely at points because the grades that are in PowerSchool are going to be that primary way of knowing what your grade is, what your standing is in class. It has your due date and your time and a brief description of what this activity is going to look like. Under here, it's going to have your class comments, which people can add comments if you have questions. But if you would like to send a private comment to me about the activity, please feel free to, in this right-hand side of the screen, type in your private comment and send it over to me. So once we look at all of this information about our activity, we have our work box up here. We have our work, and it's going to tell us that it was assigned, missing, or returned. So this one was assigned. I've never turned it in. So 99% of the time when you're working on an assignment for me in class, you're going to be clicking on the whatever slide deck or document that I give to you in this box up here. So it'll have your name and the name of the assignment. There also is this option here to add or create. So that means in here, when you turn it in, you can also add something from your Google Drive, a link to a web page, a file that's uploaded from your computer. You can create a new doc, slide, sheets, or drawing. We're primarily going to be just working with this document here, but there might be times when I ask you to upload a picture or a document that you've been working on separately. I'm going to talk about turning it in after we go through our slide. So once you click on your slide, it's going to open up the slideshow for you. Some things you're going to notice, just like you noticed last year, were the title of your document is always going to start with your name and the name of the assignment. You can change it, but I would suggest leaving it the way that it is so that I can easily go into my drive and find any of your documents whenever I need to. Last edits were made 4 hours ago because I made those edits. Once we get into these PowerPoints here, I'm actually going to switch to a different PowerPoint and I'm going to show you more what our lessons are going to look like, how they're going to be formatted. So we have a presentation that we were given to us last year. Last year in 7th grade, our math assignments were given to us in a slide deck. It's going to be very similar again this year. So you're going to start and you're going to have a title page. It's going to have a to-do list for today. What are we going to get done within the next 2 days in class? Well, today in class. So that's going to be a difference, is that the slide deck is only going to be for 1 day. So once we go there, our next slide is primarily going to be our warm-up. It's going to have which one doesn't belong, what do you notice, what do you wonder, any easy, low-risk activity for you to do. When you're given a notice and wonder, I want you to give it a shot and throw something in each one of these boxes. If you're given a which one doesn't belong, I want you to give it your best shot because there's always going to be an option for all of them. There's never going to be one specific answer that is right. All of them are going to have their own reason if you can justify it. So we're going to be typing like we did last time in these documents. In these boxes right here. Then we're going to go into our learning targets for the day. We're going to list them out for you at the beginning of the lesson. And we're also, for those people that are CVL at home learners, we're going to have a link to the video, the content that we're going to be doing that day in class or at home. A nice description video here. Last year, we mostly did notes in these videos, but for those people that are going to be CVL, we're going to be going through all of the examples that we do in class. Also, we might have in this page here, we might have a link to some any of the activity pages or any of the notes that I create and I go through in these videos. So from there, we're going to move into the activities that we're going to be doing in IM. That means our curriculum. So each of your slides, we're going to have, they're going to be presented, all of your slides are going to be presented differently, but we're always going to have the same qualities. We're going to have our directions for the activity. We're going to have a name for the activity, and we're going to have an audio file that's going to be reading those directions to you. So for example, in this one here, we were doing some input-output boxes where we have our input, what's happening to it, what's our output going to look like. And we're just going to be doing a number of activities here, and we're going to be typing in boxes just like we did during distance learning last year. We might be having you do work in your textbook, taking a picture and inserting it in, but it's still going to be pretty similar to what we did last year. So we'll have a number of activities that we're going to go through, just like I have here. And we're going to work through all of those examples. In class, we're going to be going through them. In that, if you're CVL, you're going to be looking at these activities in that video that we're going to attach at the beginning of the lesson. We might have some activity debriefs where I'm going to throw in some explanation of what we did, breaking it down for those CVL kids, breaking it down for students that need a second explanation if you go back later, if you're perhaps doing something for reviewing for a test. We also are going to have activities that are going to take place outside of this document, out of this slideshow, where we might be given an example of an activity that we're going to be doing, for example, in Desmos. Desmos is going to be a website that we're going to be using a lot this year. So if you look at these slides here, I'm probably not going to have as many names on ours this year, probably around 3 or 4. You're going to click on my name, and it's going to open up for you a website that's going to have whatever activity that you're going to be doing. In class, we're going to be going through these activities as a whole group, and we're going to be, as we go page by page, we're going to be going through them together. But if you do happen to be one of our CVL kids, somebody that's learning at home, I'm going to have access to look at everything that you've done on each one of these slides. So make sure that you're going through and you are completing all of these slides when we get here. So you're signing in. You're just going to give me a name. You don't have to sign in through your Google account, and it's going to take you to the activity. So this is an example. We're sketching a graph, drawing something on here, and we're watching what happens with our turtle. So we're going to go through all of our slides here. In class, I'm going to paste them out. You're not going to go through all of them at your own speed. We're going to go through them together. CVL students, you're going to have the opportunity to go through them at your pace. You can go, for some of these activities, you might put an answer in here, submit it, or show it out to the class, and I'll put it up on the board for everybody to see and talk about. Once we get through this activity here, we're going to be closing it out, and we're going to be going back to our slideshow here. Just like I was talking about before, we're going to have debriefs where we're going to talk about what we did in that activity, what we're supposed to take out of it, what we're supposed to learn. So as we go through and we do all the activities that we are going to do that day in class, we might not have 3 or 4 activities. We might be doing 1 or 2. We're going to come to the end where we're going to have our must do, but we're also going to interchangeably use this as our exit slip. So at the end, you're going to have some sort of exit slip to complete, whether it's in class or if we don't get to it in class, it'll be assigned for homework that you are going to be doing. The first day of class, we're going to be watching a nice video about different types of transformation. So like I said before, my name is going to be available here for you to click. It will either take you to a Google Forms, which most of our exit slips are going to be Google Forms, or a separate website, maybe an Edpuzzle video you have to watch and then answer some questions. And that's what we're going to do from there. So that's going to be the end of your activity for the day, is going to be that must do or that exit slip. Sometimes I might come in here and I might post some extension work. That would be some extra stuff for you to do if you feel like maybe you need a little bit of extra practice, or maybe you want a little bit of a better explanation. But don't go too crazy with this extension work, because we're going to be working on it that next day that you're at home. So don't feel like it's going to be, we're going to learn it, we're going to move past it. One of those days we're at home asynchronously, you're going to have the opportunity to work on it again. Last but not least, we're going to close off our day with a nice, I like to pick out memes just to congratulate you on your hard work. So this pretty much is what we're going to be doing. So once you go through your slideshow and you're entering in information where it needs to be, you're completing all the external activities like this one I said here where we were going to Desmos, and we complete our must do or exit slip, then you're ready to go back to classroom. Take it and turn it into me. You need to make sure that you hit this turn in button so that you're not considered late. So once you click it, turn in your work, you have one attachment that will be submitted to me, and you're going to hit that turn in so that it goes to me and I know that you're ready to be graded. Try to make sure that we're getting things in on time, because grades will be put in based on whether it's on time, whether it's late. If things are late, maybe shoot me a private comment as to why, and we can discuss it when we're back in class. So I hope this video was helpful for you as we go through and we're starting to look at how we're going to be presented this information this year. We're going to be using Google Slides primarily, and we're going to be clicking off and on and doing activities within those slides. So if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me via email, or you can give me a call at the school and we can talk about it a little bit more. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I know that one was a little bit long, but you guys are rock stars.